Hello everyone, Mucklug Douglas Bartholomew Reginald Esquire IV here, and this video is covering a fantastic resource for Guild Wars 2 players on the basics of obtaining Ascended gear in Guild Wars 2. If you just hit level 80, you probably have quite the mix of blue, green, yellow, and maybe some orange gear, and are looking to gear up for some max level content. A while back I did a video on useful resources for new and returning players, and if I had been familiar with this resource I'm about to show you at that time, I would have included it. This is Tanatrus's So You Want to Gear a Character wiki page. It is updated periodically and has a breakdown on most, nearly all of the ones I can think of, ways to obtain endgame equipment. A link to this webpage will be in the description. To touch on some of the main parts of this lovely resource, when you first hit 80, you'll want to start replacing your gear. You can start with getting exotic gear, that's the orange text. You can easily get a stat selectable helm, such as the Ice Golem's Maw box from the trading post for about 1 gold. And put any stats you want on it. By farming the bladed armor sets in the Verdant Brink meta, you can get stat selectable exotic armor for the other slots. There are dozens of ways to get the exotic armor, but those are my personal favorites. The rest are, of course, in this document if you don't like my approach. Let's talk Ascended gear. That's the pink font. Ascended gear is roughly a 10% or so increase in stats from exotic gear. It's something to work toward, but you shouldn't feel like you're vastly inferior to people that have it when you don't yet. It has the same stat values as legendary gear, it's the purple font, but doesn't have the quality of life of being able to change the stat types whenever you want like legendaries do. Note, you can change stats on Ascended gear with the Mystic Forge recipe in some cases, but it's costly to do it too often. For Ascended gear, most of you are going to want Berserker's gear if you like power-based gameplay, Viper's gear if you like condition-based gameplay, Harriers if you like to heal or support. There are some exceptions to every rule. There are a few builds in the game that like to use Diviners currently, for example. Before locking in the stats of whatever item you want, definitely do a few Google searches to make sure you are on the right track. Now I'm going to break down the bulk of what is in this document into a TLDR format, but if you want additional details on anything that I gloss over, go to that link that's in the description. Living World. Got any episodes of Living World? Virtually every episode of Living World Season 3, 4, and 5, that's Icebridge Saga, has merchants that sell Ascended gear in exchange for the currency associated with that zone. Petrified wood from Ember Bay, fresh winter berries for Bitterfrost, etc. Fractals. Ascended equipment, most commonly rings, will drop in Fractals often. Additionally, you will get currencies from doing Fractals and can buy equipment of your choosing from the merchants in the Fractal lobby. Guild missions. By helping your guild do guild missions, you can earn guild commendations. With these, you can buy Ascended gear in the guild hall. Laurels. You obtain laurels from your daily login rewards. If you choose to, you can save up some and get Ascended items from the Laurel merchants. PvP. You can get Ascended everything from playing PvP. I want to pause here and briefly talk about the Mist Pendant, Band, and Talisman. These items are available from the Fractal, PvP, and World v World merchants, and can be bought with any of those associated currencies. The great thing about these is if you decide you want to change the stats on them, you can buy the very cheap Mist Capacitor from the merchant and choose the stats on your trinkets over again from scratch. World v World. Similar to PvP, you can get Ascended everything in here. However, you will be at a disadvantage while you're working toward your Ascended gear due to fighting against people that may already have it. I personally recommend joining a very large group of people in World v World and not fighting alone or picking 1v1s while you're gearing up, unless you just like the challenge. Raiding. You can get full Ascended from raids. It will drop off the bosses at random, plus bosses will also drop a currency called Magnetite, which can be spent for any Ascended items you wish. Crafting. You can craft gear, including Ascended and Legendaries with the proper professions. Every profession also gets exotic backpack recipes. For example, a weaponsmith can craft an Ascended axe, and a tailor can craft Ascended light armor. Collections. There are many collection achievements that give an Ascended reward. Of special note are the specialization collections. You can get a weapon that pertains to one of your elite specs by finishing the associated collection. My personal favorite is the giant wrench scrappers get to beat people up with. Also on the topic of collections is Bulg. After finishing the Heart of Thorns main story, you can do the Bulg questline to obtain an ascended greatsword, sword, dagger, shield, or scepter. Luck! While doing world bosses or many other level 80 activities, there is a small chance to get a weapons chest. These let you choose an ascended weapon, whichever one you want. I wouldn't rely on this method, but it's good to do a few world bosses or such events each day if you enjoy them so that you have a chance. Plus, the events themselves can be profitable. Strike missions. I think strikes are so new that they are not currently covered in the Tanatrus guide at the time of recording this. But by running strikes, you earn its associated currency, profit shards. These can be spent in Eye of the North for ascended weapons or armor. The Mystic Forge. There are many ascended items crafted from recipes in the Mystic Forge. Throw the right items in and something good can come out. An example of this is the Book of Secrets. By hurling in either of these lists of items, you will get an ascended backpack with berserker stats. If you want to go the forging approach, poke around the wiki pages. There are literally hundreds, if not possibly thousands, of forge recipes to choose from. And that about covers how I would describe the ways of getting ascended gear. I really do like the way Guild Wars 2 does this system. I remember in the early days of WoW when people would raid for the best gear, then go into PvP and become unkillable raid bosses because PvPers couldn't get the same level of equipment. But here, you can get endgame equipment from nearly any game mode, and I just think that's neat. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like for the YouTube algorithm, comment if you have any questions or if you know any tricks and tips that I didn't share on this topic, and subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more content. A special thank you to our fantastic Patreon supporters who help make this content possible, and if you're interested in becoming one and getting more videos and perks, there is a link to that in the description. My in-game name is muckluck.9082 if you need to reach me there, or talk to me live any evening on Twitch. You can follow me there, or see my schedule on my calendar. Links in description. Lastly, if you'd like to support this channel, please consider bookmarking our Amazon associate links by simply using this link when you go to Amazon for your Amish shopping. You support this channel and the production of new videos with every purchase you make at no extra cost to you. Shilling complete, thanks for listening, and happy gearing.